Hello students, welcome back. My name Neeraj Partha and this is your physics class. In that class we start a new chapter. The name of that chapter is a fluid. Okay, the name of that chapter is a fluid, and basically we think that the fluid is a liquid. But dear student, fluid is not a liquid. We are consider the air and the liquid both are included in a fluid. Both are included in a fluid. So we start the today's topic with this some parameters. So first parameter is we discuss about the thrust, and after that we discuss about the pressure. Okay students, so we start with the first. What do you mean by the fluid? Basically, if you ask to anyone, that he said the liquid is considered as a fluid. But dear students, it is not a true for a physics student. Why it is a not true? Because whenever you are moving to a higher classes, that time you consider the air also insert and included in the fluid. Okay, but in that chapter which is your 9th syllabus is completely based on a liquid. It's completely based on a liquid, and liquid also having a different position, moving liquid and the stationary liquid. In that lecture we discuss only a stationary liquid. Okay, so we start. What do you mean by the fluid? It is a substance that flow under the action of a applied force. Means, let's suppose there are some difference in a force. Let's suppose a body is placed here, and in that direction 2 Newton force is applied, and in that direction 3 Newton force is applied. So what will be the resultant, guys? The resultant is a 1 Newton in that direction. So due to that 1 Newton force, the body will be moving in a left hand direction. Similarly we discuss about the liquid, and you can say that is a fluid. When it is placed at any place, and the different force, just like a gravitational force and weight, all are forces applied on that liquid and fluid, and after that we find the resultant, and due to that resultant force the liquid will be flow in a one direction. Okay, the fluid does not have any shape of its own. Means it doesn't have any own shape. Means whenever we use that shape of a glass, when we fill the liquid in that glass, it takes the shape of that container. If we are use that shape of a container, so that time, so in this condition the liquid accept the condition of that container. Now the liquid form that container shape. If you are consider that bowl shape container, and liquid will be formed in that part, so it take the ball shape. Okay, so means the liquid doesn't have a own shape. Means it doesn't have any particular shape. For examples, liquid and gases both are included in that fluid. All liquid and all type of gases are included in a fluid. Okay, they take the shape of a container in which they are stored. Means the fluid take a shape of a container in which they are stored. It's just like a glass, just like a container, just like a bowl. If you pack in any shape, that time it take that container shape. So that is a definition of a fluid. Now we discuss the two types of a fluid. First one is a hydrostatic fluid, and you can say that fluid statics. Whenever we start that chapter and the introduction of that chapter, that time we says that we consider the fluid in the condition of a stationary and in a moving condition. So when we are discuss the stationary condition, whenever we are discuss the stationary condition of fluid, that is included in a hydrostatic fluids. Okay, and you can say fluid statics. Okay, just like a electric charge. Whenever we discuss the charge at rest, that time we say that is a electrostatic. When charge in a moving, that time we use the word that is a current electricity. Okay, similarly we discuss for a fluid, when the liquid and fluid are rest, that time we discuss the fluid statics. Fluid statics. The study of fluid at rest is known as a hydrostatic, or you can say the fluid statics. Similarly, when the liquid and the fluid are in a motion, that time we say that is a hydrodynamics. That is called a hydrodynamics. What do you mean by the hydrodynamics, guys? The hydrodynamics means when we discuss the fluids, whenever we study and we discuss the fluid in motion, means the main part of that is a fluid in a motion. Fluid in a motion. Whenever fluid in a motion, that time we say that is called a hydrodynamics. That is called a hydrodynamics. In this chapter, we discuss the study of liquid at rest only. Means at 9th standard, we are having only one part of that is a hydrostatic, and you can say fluid statics. Okay. In 9th standard, we use only a single part, that is a hydrostatic. And the second part, this question will be arises by the students, is that whenever we discuss the hydrodynamics, whenever you are moving to a 11th standard, that time we discuss the hydrodynamics. The name of and some terms which is used in a hydrodynamics, that is a Bernoulli equations. Okay, all are the energy conservation base. So that is discussed, they will be discussed in a 11th standard. Okay students, now so that part is complete. In that part we discuss there are two types of a fluid on the basis of a rest and motion. When fluid in a rest, that time we say that is a hydrostatic. When fluid in a motion, that time we discuss all the things and the studies of that fluid, that is considered in a hydrodynamics. Okay students, I hope you remember that what is the types. Next one, we discuss the thrust. Guys, whenever we discuss for a solid material, that time we discuss about the forces. But whenever you are discussing the fluid material and fluid, that you can say that is a liquid and gases, that time we are not using a word that is a force. So what is the difference between a solid and a liquid? Whenever you are applying some force on a solid, that time we use that is a solid, and force is applied on that body. But whenever you are applying a force on a liquid and you can say the gas, that time we use a different word, that is a thrust. So why we use that word? So we discuss that things. The difference between a thrust and force is the force applied on any surface. The force applied on any surface in a direction. Please focus on that word. In a direction perpendicular to the surface. To the surface is called a thrust. Means let's suppose that is a surface. So what is the direction of a perpendicular? So that is the direction of a perpendicular. If this is the surface, so what is the direction of perpendicular? That, and upward and downward both are a perpendicular, guys. If the surface and in inclined plane, that direction and that direction both are a perpendicular. So the force applied on any direction, force applied on any surface in a direction that is a perpendicular to the surface. So perpendicular force, what do you mean by the perpendicular force? If in previous some standards, whenever you are discussed the some pre-foundation, that time we are required some trigonometrical function also. So let's suppose, guys, okay, that is a surface and we apply some force in that direction, and you can assume in that direction also. So we apply a force and that is a surface. Okay, these are the perpendicular, but the surface is a inclined and we apply a force in that direction which is not a perpendicular, to it. So first of all we require find the component of a force which is perpendicular to the surface. So which is the perpendicular component, guys? So this is a perpendicular direction and this is a horizontal direction. So we require a perpendicular force. So there is a method, if that angle is a theta, so that component is called a F cos theta. that f cos theta and this is a f sin theta. This is a trigonometrical function guys, which is mandatory for all competition exam, just like Olympiad, NTSC, all are the required. Okay, so we required that terminology also. Whenever we move to a next class, that is a work power energy, then again we require that trigonometrical function. Okay, we are providing the some basic values of angles. Okay, so sin theta and cos theta. Okay, so what is the value of the perpendicular force? We are applying a 10 Newton force, but it is not a perpendicular. When we calculate the perpendicular force, the value of a tan theta is having a different values. Okay, it is a different of a tan. So means you can say the value of applied force is changes. So perpendicular force is a different of according and comparison to a applied force if it is not a perpendicular. Okay student, so by using the trigonometrical function we can find the value of a perpendicular force, and that perpendicular force is called a thrust. That perpendicular force is called a thrust. Okay students, so I hope you understand that what do you mean by the thrust. As in a simple language you can say that a thrust is a perpendicular force. The thrust is a perpendicular force. Sometimes we represent the force which is perpendicular to the surface, that is a F, and that sign is used. That sign shows that force is a perpendicular in a direction. That sign is a representative of a perpendicular direction. So that is a representation of a perpendicular force on that surface. Okay. When an object is placed in a liquid, and you can say gas also, both are included in a gases. Okay, whenever a body is placed in a liquid or a gases, the force exerted by the liquid on any point of the object is perpendicular to the surface of the object. Means guys, let's suppose that is a container and this is filled with the water, and you can say the liquid. If we place any object in water and liquid, that time that liquid applied a force on that surface in a perpendicular direction. This is the surface, so it apply a force in a perpendicular direction. If that block is placed inside the liquid, so what happening guys, the liquid will be applied in upward direction force. You can understand after some time why the liquid applied in an upward direction, why it is not applied in downward direction. Okay, the surface is that, so force is applied by a liquid in that direction. That is a surface, so force applied in direction. So thrust means the force applied by a liquid on any object that is a perpendicular to the surface. That is a perpendicular to a surface. Okay, the force exerted by the liquid means the force exerted by a liquid on a walls of a container is also perpendicular to the walls. Means the liquid also applied, that is a container. If we fill that container with a liquid, that liquid applies some force on that container walls in that direction. So it's also perpendicular direction guys, because that is a surface. If this is a surface, the direction of force in that direction, and this is the perpendicular direction, and this is a perpendicular direction. Okay, now at that point, that is why the force exerted by a liquid on an object immersed in it and on the walls of container is called the thrust. That is the reason guys. That is why the force exerted means the direction of force in all condition is a perpendicular force, and that perpendicular force is called a thrust. That perpendicular force is called a thrust. So we use the word in a liquid and fluid, that is a thrust. We are not using a force. Why we are not using that word, that is force? Because the force applied on that container is different, but we required the force which is perpendicular to a direction of a surface. So the liquid apply the complete force on a perpendicular direction. So we use the word that is a thrust in a liquid. Whenever we talk about the liquid, that time we use the word that is a thrust. What is the unit of a thrust? Basically it is a force. So unit of that thrust is also a Newton. The unit of thrust is same as that of a force because it also having a nature of a force. It is a part of a force, but we says there is a different words, guys. For a liquid we use a different terminologies, that is a thrust. So the unit of a thrust is also a Newton, just similar to a force. Whenever we discuss the gravitational chapter, that time we use the two different gravitational force unit, that is a gram weight and a kilogram weight. Similarly, same unit we use here. In common use, thrust is also expressed in unit of a gram weight. Okay, the representation of a gram weight G and represented W of a T. And similarly, kilogram weight, that is representation of a kilogram weight. And you know, students, so 9.8 Newton is also mentioned here, that is a 980, and you can write also 981 Dian. Okay, so that is also a unit of a force, gram weight and kilogram weight, and all students of my classes know about that. That is also a unit of a forces. Now we move to our next point, that is a pressure. In case of a solids, the force can be applied in any direction with respect to a surface, but in a liquid the force must be applied at a right angle, that is a perpendicular direction to the liquid surface, This is because fluid means we consider the in a fluid, that is a liquid and gas, at rest cannot sustain a tangential force. What do you mean by the tangential force, guys? Let's suppose if we fill the container with the water and at the top of that level, now apply a force on that surface in a tangential direction, means apply the force in that direction. If we are applying a force in that direction, means there is a no force applied on that body. Our hand and our block and the source which is applied the force which is moving in that direction, means in that direction we are not applied any force on that liquid. So the tangential force is not applicable, not used in case of a liquid. Therefore we state the pressure acting on the fluid instead of a force. Okay guys, so therefore we state the pressure. So we are not using a word force in case of a fluid, means in case of a liquid and air. Okay, and you can say gases. So we use the word in place of a force, that is a pressure, Now the pressure is defined as the magnitude of a normal force, means the perpendicular force acting on a unit surface area of a fluid. Basic formula for a pressure is equivalent to force upon area, but dear student, in previous before 10 minutes we represent the force, that is a perpendicular direction of a force and upon area. So that is also a representation of a pressure. Pressure is equivalent to a perpendicular force per unit area. That is a mean normal force, mean the perpendicular force, and that is a per unit area. If a constant force of a magnitude, that is a capital F, in that case whenever we derive that expression, in that case we discuss that is a constant force, and which is that force is represent only a perpendicular, it is not a total applied force. If that complete applied force is a perpendicular direction, so in that case area is a, then the pressure acting on that surface is given by a pressure is equivalent to a force upon area. Pressure is equivalent to a force upon area. Now dear students, what is the unit of a force? In SI system, force will be calculated in a Newton. Force, we are not talking about the pressure here. First of all, we are talking about the force. In CGS system, we discuss about the Diagonals. Okay, so these are the unit of a force in a SI and CGS system. Now we discuss the unit of a pressure. So we are having a different unit of a pressure. First one is on the basis of a numerical. Pressure is equivalent to a force upon area. Force will be measured in a Newton and area will be calculated in a meter square. So the first unit, that is a Newton per meter square. Newton per meter square. So it can write Newton per meter square. But dear students, that unit is converted into a single term, that is a Pascal. That is a Pascal. And the symbol is a P and a small a, that is Pascal. So Newton per meter square is also called a Pascal. Okay. So it is not a complete. So we are at Pascal. Okay. That is a Pascal. Similarly, by using a formula of a pressure is equal to force upon area, if force will be calculated in a dian and area will be calculated into centimeter square, that time a different unit, that is a CGS unit of a pressure, that is a dian per centimeter square. But dear students, basically whenever we discuss the unit of any quantity, that time we discuss only two units. First one is a SI and second one is a CGS. But here we are having a different units on the basis of different parameters. So next one is a 1 atm. What do you mean by the 1 atm? Means 1 atmospheric pressure. 1 atmospheric pressure. The complete name of atm, that is a 1 atmospheric pressure. What do you mean by the 1 atmospheric pressure? Is a 760 millimeter of a Hg. So what do you mean by the 760 of a Hg? If we are calculate the pressure on the surface of a earth and we are getting some Hg, that is a liquid form. So how many and what is the height of that container, that tube containing and filled with the Hg? Due to a pressure of atmosphere, that Hg having a height, that is a 760 When that Hg, that is a mercury, guys. Okay, the other name, that Hg is the formula and you can write that is a mercury. Okay, that mercury getting a height in a tube, that is a 760 in presence of a atmospheric pressure. If all are the atmospheric pressure is applied on that container, okay, you can read and you know that experiment in your previous class why we use the mercury. Okay, so that mercury moving in an upward direction, in a tube, okay guys, and getting a height of a 760 in presence of a atmospheric pressure, which is equivalent to a 1.013 into 10 to the power 5 Pascal. Sometimes to make a simple calculation, we are directly use a 10 to the power 5 Pascal also. Sometime to form a numerical make a easy numerical, that time 1 atmospheric pressure can be write as 10 to the power 5 Pascal. 10 to the power 5 Pascal. Next unit of atmospheric pressure, that is a bar. So 1 bar is equivalent to a 10 to the power 5 Pascal. 1 bar is equivalent to a 10 to the power 5 Pascal. And last unit, that is a 1 torr. So in a 1 torr is equal to 1 of a Hg. 1 of a Hg means the height will be taken is a 1 That pressure is called a 1 torr. That is called a 1 torr. So these are the 5 units of a pressure. Okay. Now we move to a next point. The pressure is a scalar quantity. Means guys, why you can say and how you can say the pressure is a scalar quantity. Okay, pressure will, it doesn't matter what is the direction. It required only a particular one direction, the force will be applied on a perpendicular direction. So pressure is a scalar quantity, doesn't matter what is the direction of a pressure. It required only some particular parameter which will be discussed in our next some slides. The pressure will be maintained by the height of a liquid, not the direction and not the size of a container. It completely based on a height and liquid densities only. Okay, so you can say the pressure is a scalar quantity. Next point is pressure exerted by a liquid column. Let's suppose we are having some liquid column. Okay, so we form that is a liquid column. That container having a area of a capital A. Okay guys, we fill that container with the liquid and that liquid density is a rho. Okay, the density of a liquid is a rho and we fill that container with the height of a h. So first of all we write these things. The area of a container, the area of a container, and you can say also the, you can also say the column container is capital A. Okay, so you can also say the base, area of a base is capital A, and the height of a liquid, height of the liquid fill in that container, that is a h. Density of a liquid, density of a liquid is we consider that is a rho. So first of all, if you want to calculate the pressure, so what is the formula of a pressure? The pressure is right here. Pressure is equivalent to a force upon area. So how much amount of force is applied by that liquid in that surface? So force will be calculated of that container in the form of weight, that is a mg. The force applied by that liquid is a mg. So you can write that is equivalent to a weight of the liquid upon area. So liquid will be measured in the form of m into g. So dear students, we doesn't having any information about the mass of that liquid. So we use the relation of density is equivalent to a mass upon volume. So you know that density is equivalent to a mass of the liquid upon volume of that liquid. So density is equivalent to a mass upon volume. So by using that expression, mass is equivalent to a density of a liquid and volume of that liquid. So dear students, what is the volume of a liquid? The liquid is same as the volume of a container. So volume can be write in the form of area into height. So volume of a liquid, so volume of liquid is equivalent to a area multiply by height. Okay students, so you can write here area is equivalent to a capital A and height is a h. So we placed here, so mass of liquid is equivalent to a density multiply by area and multiply by h. Okay students, so that is a mass. Next parameter is, put that value, pressure is equivalent to a force upon area. Okay, so force is equivalent to a, what is the amount of a force is equivalent to m into g. So m can be represented in the form of rho a h and g, and a divided by a. So a and a cancel out. So pressure applied by that liquid container, liquid column, you can say H rho G, where H is the height of the liquid and rho is the density of a liquid and G is the gravitational acceleration. And every students know about that the gravitational acceleration G having a value that is a 9.8 meter per second square on the surface of a earth. Okay, so the pressure for a liquid column, that is a H, rho and G. So that is a complete, guys. First of all, we take a container and assume any liquid which are having a density is a rho and fill that liquid with at the height of H. Now first of all, we assume these quantities, area, height and rho. After that, we form a relation how we can find the pressure. So pressure can be found in that process weight upon area. The force applied by the liquid container is equivalent to a weight of a liquid. Okay, weight of a liquid on that surface, that is a perpendicular direction also. Now, so to find that force, we require m into g. So m, we doesn't having any information about the mass. So after that, we use that expression and find the complete values and divided by area. After that, we are getting the value of a pressure, that is a H, rho and G. Okay students, so now that is complete. Now move to a next. Some fact involving the thrust and pressure. Which are the facts which involve the pressure and the thrust in a daily life? First one is a nails have a flat top but pointed end. You know that nails means that shape of a nails which are having a that surface, that is a some circular shape, and the end of that nails is a pointed. Okay students, that is a pointed end. Okay, so why we are using a pointed end? Here students, you know that and most of the students know about that relation. So pressure is inversely proportional to the area of that body. If we are increase that area, that you can say the blunt nail, so we required a higher amount of force to fix on a wall. If we reduce that area, so we required a minimum force to fix that nail on a wall. Why, dear students, why we are happening at that process? Because the area less. So according to that explanation, the applied force is that means you can say the effect of small force from a large amount of a force. So a small pressure applied on the flat top through the falling hammer, by applying a hammer, becomes a large thrust. It convert into a large amount of a thrust. The same thrust act on a wooden board through the pointed end. The same thrust applied by a pointed end on a wooden board end of the nail, and if it is the result in a large pressure, the nail can easily fix in a wooden board. Okay students, now shaving needles having a pointed tip, a small force. If anyone not at present, if in future you are using a shaving needles, that time you can feel we are applying a small force by our fingers and that cut easily our hairs. Okay, now the small force of our fingers make the needle press into the cloth easily and the shaving becomes quicker and shaving becomes very fast. Cutting items just like a knife and blades have a sharp edge. Let's see. Okay students, now that is we are forming a knife here. Okay, that pointed end means we reduce the area. And applying some force by on that process. Here we are applying a force on that hand, and that reducing area convert that small amount of force into a large amount of a thrust. Okay, that is the effect of a pressure, and that is an area. Reducing pressure. So reducing pressure, how you can judge? Tractor tires are a broad. Why we are form the tractor tire are very broad? Because tractor do not sink in the soft land of the field while operating them. Whenever the tractor will be moving in some land and it land is a very soft, that time tractor cannot be sink inside them. Why? Because it having a broader tire. Camel foot are broad and the very soft. They walk swiftly on a sands. Why? Because that soft foot can reduce that effect of a pressure. Whenever we purchase any bags and that time we focus on that strip. Why we are focusing on that strip? If the strip size is very small, it applied a large amount of pressure on our fingers and our shoulders. If we are getting a broader strip of a bag, that time it's applied and it reduces the effect of that force, and we can easily carry that bags for a long distance and long time. Hanging bag having a wide straps, they reduce the pressure on a shoulders. That reduce the pressure on a shoulders. To it, my suggestion, guys, anytime if you are purchasing a bags and strip which are using your shoulders, that time we get important point, that is a wide strip. If you are purchasing a wide strip, that time you can feel a less weight. Otherwise, you can require a large weight also. Factor which do not affect the fluid pressure. So which are the factor which are not affect the fluid pressure? Fluid pressure is independent of the shape and size of a container. Means if you are having a different shape and different size, just like that, let first we are contain that type of a container and feel that here. Okay. After some time we use a different container with a different size and feel at the same height, and feel the container at the same height. Now again we use a different container and feel at the same height. Okay. So but dear students, whenever you are measuring the pressure at the bottom of all these containers, that time you feel and you are getting the answer is the pressure applied here, that is a P1, the pressure applied here, that is a P2, and the pressure applied at that bottom, that is a P3, all are equal. All are equal means P1 is equivalent to a P2 is equivalent to a P3. Means the pressure applied by a liquid, it doesn't matter what is the shape of a container. Only we required only the what is the height of that liquid and the density of a liquid, which liquid will be feel in that container. If we feel the same liquid, means the density of that liquid is a rho, and the density of that liquid is rho, and the density of the liquid is a rho, means all liquid, means just like a sometime you use the water and the fluid, any fluid, but which all are having a equal values. That time the force and you can say the pressure, but all pressure at that bottom P1, P2 and P3 is equal. Okay, that is the first point. Fluid pressure is also independent of a area of cross section of a container. Means that area and that area. All are the areas are different, but dear student, the pressure is same. So both are the points. Now you understand these points, guys. Now to move to our next. Fluid pressure is also independent of a direction. So we are using a 4 containers, first, second, third and fourth. All are filled with the same liquid. We are filled that is water here. Now dear student, we are assuming a same height, that is a line is forming already here, and measure the pressure in a all direction. First one is a right hand direction, second one downward, that is upward, and that is a left hand. So we measure at a same height pressure in a all container. By measuring the pressure, we are judging that the pressure at that point is same. It doesn't matter what is the direction, the value of a pressure for that container, for that container, for that container and that container, all are having a same values. Means the fluid pressure is also independent of a direction. Means direction is doesn't matter. So you can feel the direction is not compulsory to measure the pressure in a liquid. Means if that is given a value of a 2 Pascal, so everyone giving a value that is a 2 Pascal. Okay student, so pressure is same for all points. Now dear students, we move to a very important point that is called a buoyancy. The name of that force, that is a buoyancy. Let's suppose we are having a football and ball, and whenever you are moving any swimming pool, that what are you doing? Let's see, that is a ball and we are apply a force on that ball in the surface of a water. That time whenever you are pushing that ball inward direction of a water, that time you feel that the ball applied some force in outward direction. Means your fingers can feel that force applied by a football. But that force is not applied by a football. Whenever you are moving the outside, means in air, the football is not applying any force on your finger in upward direction. But whenever you are place that ball in a liquid surface and any fluid, that time your fingers and you can see that your fingers can feel that force and the direction of that force in a upward direction. Let's see that pictures. That picture says we are having some water surface and that is some part of a wooden, that is called a cork. Now apply a force by your thumb on that cork. Okay, when we release and when remove that cork, that what happens, the cork is moving in upward direction. And in that position, why we are applying a force? We are applying a force to move the cork in a downward direction, and our thumb is continuously feeling a force which is applied by a liquid in a upward direction. That is called a buoyancy force. That force is called a buoyancy force. Now we moving a language definition. When an object is placed in a liquid, whenever you are placed any object in a liquid, the liquid exert an upward force on it. Liquid apply a force in an upward direction. Okay students, now for example, when a piece of cork is held below the surface of water by applying a force of our thumb, and whenever you are release that, means you remove your thumb, that what happen, the cork immediately rise to the surface according to that figure. It appears as some upward force is exerted by a water on that cork which pushes it to a surface. Means you can see that and you can say that the force, why that cork is moving in upward direction? Because the force by a water is applied in upward direction. So that is a reason guys, and that force is called also a buoyancy force. Means the applied force, the force applied by a liquid on any object, that is called a buoyancy force. Again we are repeat the value, and that is called one more word, that is upward force. Focus on that word guys. When an object is placed in a liquid, the liquid exert a upward direction force. That force is also called a buoyancy. Now write the definition. If we lift a stone, and you can feel that also by doing that some experiment. First one is that when we lift a stone lying at the bottom of a pond, let's suppose that is a pond guys. Okay, now drop a string and hang a stone and pull that string. You can feel a weight. You are feel a weight of that stone. If that same amount of mass and same amount of a stone is hanging in a second pond, but it is a filled with some liquid, means that is filled with the water. So what is the experience that time you feel that the force experienced by that is F1, the force experienced by that is F2. that time you are compare that force, that you feel that the F2 is less than of a F1. Why it is a less? But dear student, every object is applying a force in a downward direction, it has mg. So that F1 is equivalent to mg. So you feel that weight, you feel the force which is equivalent to a weight of that stone. But in that condition which is filled with the water, that container is filled with the water, and you experience a force that is F2. But that F2 is not equivalent to a mg, it is a less than of a mg. So what is the condition when you are subtract and you are reduce that mg? So in that condition, that mg can be reduced whenever other force is applied in upward direction. So who are applied that upward direction force? The liquid applied a force on that stone in a upward direction. Due to that reason, that is the reason guys, the mg is subtract. So F2 is equivalent to a mg minus of a other force that is writing in symbol form, that is a buoyant force F of B. So the upward direction force, that is a buoyant force, is applied in a upward direction. That is the reason is that whenever you are pull any string and any water bottle and anything in the water filling ponds, that time you feel a less weight. After moving out in the air, you again feel the weight of an object. So that experiment is proof that liquid applied a upward direction force. Next example is that the object appears to be less heavy in a water. Why? Because the buoyant force is applied in a upward direction and the weight is moving in a downward direction. That is the reason guys, due to if you are pull any object in a water, that time you feel a less weight. So the object appear to be less heavy in a water because the water exerts an upward force on them. It is not only a water which exerts an upward force on the object immersed in it, but all liquid apply a force in a upward direction. That is called a upward direction force. The tendency of a liquid to exert an upward force on an object placed in it is called a buoyancy. So write that word guys in your dictionary, that is that force in upward direction force and which is applied by a liquid, that is called a buoyancy force. Okay. Even the gases exhibits that property of a buoyancy. Gas also applied that force, that is a buoyancy. So students, in that lecture we discuss about the force, pressure, thrust and upward direction force and the important point, that is a buoyancy. After that lecture we are provide some assignment guys you. So write your assignment in your copies carefully and do your work very honestly. Okay students. All the questions which are provided to you is available in your modules. So do your examples and after that attempt that assignment. Have a nice day and thank you so much students.